Hello everybody, this is Jannecke from Wisdom from North. I'm now live at the Wellbeing Festival in Norway in Lillestrøm, and I'm sitting here with Kevin Reeder. How are you, Kevin?
I'm fine, thank you, Jannecke. Yeah, very nice to be here, and Wellbeing Festival is a great place to be. It really is.
Yes, it is. And you are a mindfulness instructor. You're a Buddhist. You have been working as a marketing strategist and with PR and with corporate communication for 20 years. So you've been doing a lot. But tell us a little bit about what you're doing here, because you, together with your partner, you're doing something that's called Biodanza and incorporating mindfulness in that. So tell us a little bit about what that is about.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is. It's we're trying to, Ida and I are trying to combine the best of mindfulness practices with Biodanza, which is a type of movement practice where you're using dance, you're using music, you're using encounters with other people, and you're using group sessions and group exercises to experience presence in your own body, presence in your relationships with other people, and to be mindful and get a sense of belonging to a community and a deeper sense of being connected to everything and everybody. So with mindfulness practices and Biodanza, we think that we can give people so many different experiences of that you'll be motivated to create a personal mindfulness practice in your everyday life. Because one of the things about mindfulness practices, whatever they are, is they're all very simple to learn. But the difficult thing about mindfulness is to remember to be mindful, to remember to do it. That's the whole thing with mindfulness, being present here and now in whatever you're doing, thinking, expressing.
And I also think it's important to be mindful in your body, to be in your body, because maybe sometimes we just think about the mind, I should be attentive and observe my thoughts, and then we can forget the body. But if you dance, I assume you just have to get into your body.
Well, yeah, very well put. You do have to get into your body. And sometimes that's difficult. Sometimes it's just pure joy. But you meet a lot of different types of presence in your body on different experiences. But whether you're doing walking meditation practice for mindfulness or whether you're doing Biodanza, body and breath and focus and anchoring yourself in your body and breath is probably the easiest way for people to get a handle on mindfulness practice. We'll often start off with an awareness of everything around you and your sensory perceptions. There's a good friend of mine from my men's group over there. We'll go from that awareness of your surroundings through your sensory perceptions to body and breath, as a sort of movement from being aware, outwardly aware, to being inwardly aware. And then you would go from there to look at feelings, to experience thoughts, and then to go deeper than that to see that beyond feelings and thoughts and everything your senses bring to you, there's a deeper, calmer, more satisfying place that we're all looking for in all these practices that are going on at the Wellbeing Festival.
So you're obviously on your own journey yourself. How has mindfulness helped you? Where are you in your practice right now, you would say? What are you working with mostly now for yourself, your own practice?
Quite a lot of areas of my life have been sort of thrown around and juggled by powers beyond my control in the last few years. So whether it's work or relationships, family life, health, you name it, I'm having to re-energize my mindfulness practice to make any sense of what's been happening to me. I can take work, like you said, my business card, it says corporate storyteller, or no, it says chief storyteller. Now that doesn't mean that I wear a headdress with eagle feathers or something. It means I've been working for big corporations and organizations, helping them doing marketing, PR, communications through creating community. By creating community on channels, communities of interest, persuading these organizations to share their knowledge freely, to gain people's trust, and then to do good business, worthy business based upon that. I've brought that in as part of my mindfulness practice because I want any of the communications work I do to be based on solid values, not to be based on pure competition and aggressive business practices. And the share in society that we've seen everywhere now, from social entrepreneurship to wherever you look these days, that's based on this idea of like sharing openly, creating good contact with people, creating trust, and being able to do good, open, transparent business based upon that. So in my work in life, that's how I've been trying to bring in my mindfulness practice to make it more meaningful for me to be involved in and to create the type of good business I want to see around in the world. I could see the same thing about health, my relationships with my children, wherever I look in my life, really, that mindfulness just becomes more and more the thing that either revolutionizes the way I have to do things or throws me completely off balance so that I have to relearn things or unlearn things.
So mindfulness, you're saying that you were going through a tough time the past 4 years. So mindfulness has really helped you. Like if you didn't have mindfulness, maybe you wouldn't handle it in the same way. Would you say that it has really helped you in that difficult time?
Surely, I can give you an instance. 2.5 years ago now, I realized that I have Lyme's disease, Borrelia. Took a while to understand that that's what it was. I went through a whole phase of fatigue, of not being able to do anything. I'm generally a very energetic, sort of enthusiastic guy. But, I've had periods of weeks where I've spent 3 or 4 days on a couch looking at TV. Couldn't do anything else. So, when that started to happen to me, I had to start to let go of all types of things that I would generally do. And ideas about myself. I'm the energetic guy that gets things done. I was no longer that. So, my mindfulness practice has helped me to just be patient with that, not least to accept that I'm now a changed person. My health is going to dictate what I can do, what I can't do, and my mindfulness practice is my guide in how I can do that.
What is your perspective on how much we can control and cannot control? Because many people are talking about how we, what we think and what we feel is mirrored out there, but it seems like a lot of things are just coming at us at the same time. What is your perspective on that?
Well, I'm a Buddhist and I have been all my adult life. So Buddhism is all about taking responsibility for your actions and your attitudes and your speech and whatever you do in life. So I would say that I believe to a very large degree in karma, that I create the conditions for my life and my experiences. So the way I think at the moment about this interview and the way I try to stay connected to you, that's going to influence what happens here in this interview. And it's going to influence what happens when you leave this space and when I leave this space. And it's going to influence what happens then in the next person that sits here and what happens between the two of you. And it's going to influence how I lead this workshop that I'm going to do with Ida on mindfulness and Biodanza. It's a chain reaction of things, beginning with what I think, what I do, what I say, and how I deal with people. So I'm not at the level of we can imagine something and we can always bring it about. I do believe that my experience actually suggests that if I want to bring something about, I have to be able to imagine it first. But that certainly in my experience doesn't mean that I'll get what I'm imagining. I will certainly set off a chain of reactions which lead to something, but my experience suggests that often when I've been asking for something or trying to work towards something, I do get something, but it's often not what I expected to get.
That is so interesting. Do you think that has something to do with belief system as well, that you perhaps do believe that you won't always get what exactly you ask for, and that's so deep in you that that might be it? Because I've interviewed a lot of people about this, and some people are just so sure about, what I visualize is what is going to happen. And maybe that's their experience. I'm thinking maybe that's their belief system. And if we believe it so deep down, maybe that's what is making things happen. I don't know. It's just a reflection.
I think it's a very sound reflection, and I don't doubt for some people that that's the case, I've been fascinated myself with people who really vision something and manifest and bring it about in their lives, But I know for me it doesn't seem to operate that way. So, I mean, when we have courses and we have mindfulness courses and we're talking about these things, then I always think that, there must be quite a large span of realities in this space. Some people, like you say, are naturally visioning and manifesting their visions, and other people are imagining and bringing about something, and sometimes the universe maybe has got a much clearer idea of what I actually need. So that's sort of my understanding of it at the moment. Sometimes in the last 4 years and all these changes I've been through, I've tried, my core practice in my mindfulness really has been to try and give up the idea that I can plan my way into my future. So just for a period I've given up completely thinking that I can do as these people claim, and I don't doubt that some of them can do.
More of a surrendering?
I've been surrendering and creating a space, a mindful space, and asking for what I need to come into that space. Not what I want, because often what I want turns into something which I probably do need, but and I get sort of mixed up in it and sometimes disillusioned in it. So my experience has been more and more create the space and be willing to open up to the universe delivering something which I just can't foresee. Like the little girl walking past here now and smiling to us there. Yes.
Lovely to meet you, and good luck with your workshop. It sounds amazing, and good luck with your wonderful work.
Thank you, Jannecke, and the same to you.
Tusen takk for at dere så på. Veldig koselig å ha en liten jente her også. Vi kommer tilbake med flere livesendinger, og det er bare å følge med, og ta gjerne turen ut hit på Wellbeing Festivalen, og takk til Hatling Media som filmet.